What do you want to do? Huh? What do you want to do? Here we are. I'm in the hyperbaric chamber here. I'm in the hyperbaric chamber. I just shut off the key. I turned the AC off. I shut off the key, and now the windows are up. And now it's like going through the Valhalla belt in the space shuttle. Yeah, bottom line, I mean, you're talking about one of the best and one of the worst games probably ever made. And I'll tell you the reasoning behind that. You know, my first exposure to Sega Genesis games was going down to the video store. Going down to the video store to rent Nintendo games. And I remember the first time me and my buddy Phil, we went into M&M Video right here in Lindenhurst on Montauk Highway. And we see there was like 4 Sega Genesis games on the shelf. That's it. It just came out. It was Last Battle, Sports Talk Football, Altered Beast, you know, sometimes I try to go right back into my subconscious mind. I got news for you. Your subconscious mind is the most powerful thing that anybody will ever understand. Or will never understand, to be honest with you, because I've had dreams. I've had dreams where there are people in my dreams speaking Spanish. I don't know how to speak Spanish, but there are people speaking Spanish in my dream. And they're speaking Spanish, there's no question about it. It's not just like mumble jumbo. They're speaking the language. So imagine the processing power of your... I believe that everything you've ever seen, smelled, heard in your entire life is saved up here in the old hard drive. The old blood noodle hard drive. I believe every scrap of information you've ever been exposed to, it's all up here. Because when you go to dreamland, your mind can map out neighborhoods, sounds, engine sounds from automobiles, and not just one sound, cars going by, people talking in the background, people speaking other languages. I think we all, if we've been around people that speak other languages, we all have this inherent ability to be able to speak other languages. So put that in your goddamn pipe and smoke it. Anyhow, we're getting off topic here. So anyway, so what's this? A Sega Genesis. And you look at the back of the box and you're like, holy shit. We're not in Kansas anymore. The sprites were like half the size of the screen. The colors were so vibrant. It was like, what the hell? What is this? You gotta understand that you've gone from the Atari to the Nintendo to this, and all of a sudden the Sega Genesis comes out, this magic machine, and look what it's doing. This is absolutely incredible. It's mind-blowing. So naturally, you don't have the scratch to buy the Sega Genesis. So, you know, months and months go by, more games start coming out, okay? And I remember Sword of Sodan comes out. And I look at the back of the box, and it's like, you know, looks like medieval times. It's like guys getting impaled on stakes. It was like, whoa, what is this? What the hell is this all about? And I dreamed about this game. I wanted the Sega Genesis just so I could play this game. It looked like, you know, it had this, the guy was like, you know, the enormous sprite, like, the graphics were like unbelievable. You know, the shirtless barbarian, and he's taking on knights with axes and whatnot. I must have looked at the back of the box every time I went into that store and just stared at the pictures. And when I finally got the chance to actually rent the game, I remember the game being so violent in that, you know, when you would stab. The play control was horrendous. The hit detection was horrendous. The music was horrendous. The music was virtually non-existent. None of it mattered because it had this violent gore and just really cool graphics. I mean, everything else was forgiven because there was a part where you'd come up to these giants. They were like, you know, almost the entire. They took up almost the entire screen, and you'd stab them with your sword until they dropped down to their knees, and then you just lop their head off, and blood would come out of their neck, and their head would just go rolling down the street. And it was like, you know what? That's what I've talked about this before. That's what I just craved. I just craved the violence. I would watch the monster movies just to see the blood and the gore. I think teenagers just have this fascination and curiosity with blood and guts. And I would watch kung fu movies just to watch a guy get punched in the stomach and watch blood come out of his mouth, or that proverbial run of blood that comes out of the side of a guy's mouth when he gets that fatality punch to the stomach. And here it was in video games, and me and my friends were always, throughout our video game careers, we were so aggravated with Nintendo because Nintendo never had any blood and guts. And for the most part, the TurboGrafx didn't either. And it was the Genesis that really had the blood and guts. The Mortal Kombat with the bloody fatalities and whatnot. The Immortal, which is just like a brutally gory game. Games like Sword of Sudan, but that's what made Sword of Sudan so special. Even though it's an absolutely horrendous game, if you play it, you'll be frustrated beyond belief, and you'll think to yourself, this is the biggest piece of garbage of all time. But at the same time, for a kid, you know, that craved that violence and the blood and the guts, it was just like, this is the best. It was the best thing ever. I love that game. Mike Gardner just picked up that game at a garage sale, and he says, "Oh," he goes, "I'm going to try this out." He doesn't know. I don't know if he realizes like how important that game was. I guess maybe to certain people like myself. But that's it. I think that, you know, people say, oh, video games is the cause of violence and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. No. Human beings are the cause of violence. And if they don't have an outlet to kind of like get out the violent aggression, that's when they become violent. Take away the video games with the violence, and I think people will become more violent. Because movies, you know, you watch, who doesn't like a good horror movie? Or you watch RoboCop and you watch people get blown to pieces. And listen, we all know it's movies, but it gets that need, I think that need and that curiosity to see violence. It gets it out of your system. It's like having sex. You know, if you're kept away from women, I imagine like sailors and whatnot, you turn into a sex, you know, like this like stark raving sex addict. You're probably, you know, getting hard-ons that are blowing through your buddy's bunk bed on the ship if you're on a Navy ship. I don't know. That's ridiculous, right? Anyway, I think it's very healthy to watch. I remember my friend's grandmother. She loved violent movies. She was the sweetest little old Italian woman, but she absolutely adored violent movies, and she used to love the Death Wish movies, which is some of the greatest movies ever made. We could talk Death. Next time we talk, we're gonna talk Death Wish movies, because the Death Wish, I don't know how many are there. I think there's 5, maybe even 6 of them. Every single one of them's a gem in its own very special way. But this, God bless and God rest her soul, she loved the good old-fashioned violent movie. It gets it out of the system. Oh boy. How's it going?
How you doing?
Good, good. Oh. 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 How much are you asking for the video games?
I'll take $10 for all of them.
$10 for all of them?
Yeah.
Oh, that's that. Oh, you got other stuff here? All right, I'll take those. How much for the guides?
That whole setup right there is $10.
For these two?
Yeah. The guide to that whole game, that's per PC. Yeah, if you want, you can have it for $7 if you really want it.
$7?
Yeah. I'm just gonna get rid of my stuff.
Oh, okay.
Gotta go.
I hear you. Resident Evil. And how much for the
$4 each.
$4 each for these? Call of Legends. Working designs. How about these guides here?
$4 each.
$4 each.
You want all of them? Give me $20 for all of them.
$20 for all of them. $20 for all of them. Okay. All right, so we got 10.
The books are 17.
All right, I'll take this and the books. Oh. 29 so far. Okay. Any other video games or everything's out here? Oh, I didn't even see. Treasures of the Deep.
Those are my first 2 original favorite games.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Alright. Oh, so you're a gamer from way back, huh?
Yep, me and my son.
Awesome. Yeah, hang on to that. Yeah.
You give me the heavy stuff?
Yeah, of course. All right. Hang
Oh
on.
no, you carry that.
Oh, Bay. You don't have a bag, do you? Okay. Oh, that's perfect, huh?
Put the front big first.
Okay. $30?
You're actually up to $49.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was 20 for all the books,
Yeah.
17 for the others. It was you're up to 27. You have 17 with the other stuff. 17 plus the 4 for each of the video games. That brought you up to 29.
Okay.
Remember?
Okay.
And
okay.
then you wanted the manuals, which is $20.
Okay.
So it's actually 49.
Okay. BITHEAD1000 here, drinking coffee that I brewed from the ashes of Mount St. Helen. You tuned into the greatest video game program in the history of human civilization. And if you don't believe that, I'll come to your house and I'll tear out your endocrine system. So anyway, here we go. I mean, what a day. And I'll tell you why. Let this day be a lesson to everybody out there. Because I drove around till 12 o'clock, till noontime, and didn't find one thing. I shouldn't say I didn't find one thing. I found this for 25 cents. Fantavision. It looked like a game about fireworks and pyrotechnics. That's what it says. It's a pyrotechnics puzzle craze. And it's this crazy looking game about what looks like fireworks going off. I don't know. And that was around, I found this around 10 o'clock. And then I found this for $1. Risk. I mean, it was tough out there. And I was driving around, I went garage sailing with my wife, and basically come 11:30, I told her, I said, it's over, babe. So from here on out, we're just taking a pleasure cruise. And I really didn't expect to find anything. And I basically, you know, I said, going out finding these video games, it's not much different than doing drugs. The highs are so high and the lows are so low. When you find something, you get so high because I know I'm going to come back here, I'm going to get in this, I'm going to get in the shed here, and I'm going to smell. To me, this is victory. I'm talking to you guys, this is victory. We did it. We found something. So 12 o'clock came around, and I said to myself, I said, oh, that's it. I'm just going to kick back, and I'm going to enjoy the afternoon with my wife. And, you know, we'll drive around to a couple more garage sales because we're out east, and it's, you know, it's scenic out there. So we'll just go cruising together. And then we stumble upon this garage sale, and it's just an absolutely mind-blowing mystery, baffling mystery, how you can go from one garage sale to another and just get chomped up by the sharks, and then you can come to a garage sale like this and pick up a box full of stuff of what I consider pretty exciting stuff. So let's get right to it. Okay. So you had a bunch of N64. I gotta just my plug. The charge is going dead over here. Okay. So a bunch of N64 games, and we'll start with those. Top Gear Rally 2. By the way, every single one of these cartridges has Jerry and Jermaine and Jerry. Jerry and Jeremy labeled on the top of them. So anyway, Top Gear Rally 2, and one of my favorite racing games of all time is the original Top Gear for the Super Nintendo. That's just an absolutely astounding game. Top Gear 2 for the Super Nintendo sucks. Top Gear 1 is great, and Rock and Roll Racing for the Super Nintendo, which is more of a, well, they're both arcadey style, fun type of driving games. But Top Gear Rally 2, Jeopardy, Hexen, Turok, the Dinosaur Hunter, Battle Tanks, Global Assault, here's an interesting one, Snowboard Kids 2, which is an Atlas game, and that doesn't really seem like the genre of game that Atlas would develop, but interesting. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, Super Mario 64, Gauntlet Legends. Something about Gauntlet Legends, I don't know. I played it in the arcade, and I used to love it in the arcade. And anytime I see it ported to any console, I'm going to pick it up. Yoshi's Story. And again, Snowboard Kids 1. Quest 64, Clay Fighter 63 1/3, Killer Instinct Gold, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, and Donkey Kong 64. So it seemed like I don't know. It just seemed like this guy was interested in bundling things. So here we go. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 64 games, which he wanted $10 for. I forgot how many he said individually, but at the end of the day, he said he'd bundle them for $10. Okay, moving along. The next item that I saw was kind of. I thought initially it was 2 Final Fantasy strategy guides. Final Fantasy VIII official strategy guide, and Final Fantasy VIII. I thought it was some type of companion book or something like that. Some type of maybe character companion book or something like that. And then I opened it up and I realized there's discs in here. That this is Final Fantasy VIII for the PC. I don't know. I'm guessing it's for the PC because I've never seen it in this type of case before. Okay, moving right. Oh, and by the way, that was I believe I think he wanted 10 for it. But we wound up getting it for 7. So what's fascinating to me is this guy's willing to take about 60 cents a piece for these N64 games. But then he wants to charge $4 a piece for PlayStation 2 and GameCube games. And here's a guy that obviously he's a gamer, and obviously this is his personal collection because all the games have his goddamn name on them. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. I'm on my fourth cup of coffee today. After I went garage sailing, I went to the beach. And I went boogie boarding until, like, I got on this one wave. It was I'm old enough to know, and experienced enough to know that you don't boogie board on shore breakers. But I was a little bored and I didn't have anything else to do. So I wound up taking this wave on my boogie board and going nose first into the sand and slamming my neck into the ground. I'm lucky I'm not paralyzed from the waist down. I can't barely even turn my neck to the right here. Anyway, the ocean has a way of just like sucking the energy out of you. I don't know what it is. The sun, the water, the salt water. I don't know. All the chicks looking at me on the beach. I mean, you know. Alright, maybe that doesn't happen. But, yeah, so here we go. These are a couple of games that I just couldn't turn away from. And one of them is a Working Designs game signed by Jerry. Look at that. I got Jerry's autograph. But how cool is this? A Working Designs game for the PS2. I never see these around. Maybe you do. I don't. But yeah, GameStop was nice enough to put a sticker on the spine. And good thing it's not on the plastic. It's on the actual paper label on the inside of the spine. Thanks, GameStop. Gauntlet Dark Legacy. I told you how I feel about Gauntlet games. I'm not telling you again. And who can turn their back on a beautiful copy of Resident Evil for the GameCube? Okay, so that's it. You got us for $4 a piece on those, right? We spent $12 on 3 games. So there we go. Now the next thing was he had this whole slew of strategy guides laid out on his tarp there. And individually, I forgot what he wanted for them. I think he wanted a lot for them individually, but he said, if you want to take them all for $20, there's yours, they're yours. I simply couldn't pass them up because they're really nice strategy guides and for a lot of great games. So let's check it out here. Okay. Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past with includes the 4 swords as well. Legend of Zelda: Majora's Mask. Legend of Legaia. Doom 64. Tack. Crash Bandicoot 2. Resident Evil 2, The Perfect Guide. Oddworld. Final Fantasy X. Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Now you guys know how I feel about strategy guides. I would never use one, but I do appreciate them as a piece of gaming history, and I just think that they're really cool. Diablo for the PlayStation. Tomb Raider 2. Legend of Zelda: The Twilight Princess, which is a really nice hardcover book, and it's got some type of like a cloth map in there. Yeah, cloth map. Maybe we'll hang that on the back wall. Alright. I folded that wrong. Maybe I shouldn't put it back in there until I fold it right. Okay. Alright. Donkey Kong 64. Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Official Donkey Kong Country 3. Yoshi's Story. Saga Frontier. Mario Kart Double Dash. I never knew Mario Kart Double Dash could get that involved. I guess this is an issue with Game Fan. Turok. And Final Fantasy VII. So listen, I mean, here we go. How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So they came out to about $1 a piece. And who wouldn't want this stack of books sitting next to their toilet? So that's it. That haul wound up costing me, it came out to $49. I thought it was $29. I offered him $29 for it, but I guess he caught me in the act there. Even though it wasn't an act, it was just my own stupidity. So there we go. Let's get some of these games up on the shelf, and what a predicament we have this week. You know what? It's almost like somebody's looking after the show, because we found all these N64 games, and lo and behold, we have the ability to stack N64 games on top of N64 games. So we bought ourselves another week. And you're saying to me, BITHEAD1000, what's your plan of action when the cabinet is full? And to be honest with you, I haven't figured it out yet. So look at that. Don't they fit nicely right there? And then we'll take our PlayStation 2 games and our GameCube games, and we'll stick them right there. So let that be a lesson to everybody, no matter how late it is. 12 noon, you would think, hey, curtains, right? Well, not exactly. Hang in there, stay in the fight. I'm BITHEAD1000, and I'll see you next time.